Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? I'm sitting at a stoplight right now so I can make eye contact with my iPhone while making this video, so I'm being safe. I'm on my way to the chiropractor's office. It's time for me to have an adjustment. I go for adjustments once a month now. I had a procedure done called radio frequency ablation. That's going to be a separate video. I just heard a song on the radio on Spotify, and it just triggered me to make a video because so many people struggle with this. Women, I don't struggle with this anymore, or at least to a very small degree, and I just wanted to share my story, or part of my story, because I have 20 minutes that it takes me to get to the chiropractor's office. So this girl in this song is singing about how she doesn't feel worthy, or she doesn't like passing by mirrors to look at herself. And I'm like, wow, okay. Y'all, that was an idol in my life. I used to run, crazy. I made fitness an idol. We'll just leave it at that. I loved it, of course, which is fine, but anything we put in front of Jesus or make more important than him can be an idol. We don't see it that way, but it is. It could be any hobby. In the Bible, you know, they talk about things that they would carve, and we have in our mind, okay, that's an idol. I'm not bowing down to a calf or to, you know, a little wooden object or something. Quite literally what God had to do to get my attention, because I was so stubborn, I had to go through pain. There was emotional pain and there was physical pain. And nothing will get you on your knees and humble you like physical and emotional pain. I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis and a slightly bulging disc. Now I have theories of what actually made that worse. When I felt the pain in my body, all you can do is think about, how do I get rid of this? How do I deal with this? What can I do to help myself? Who can help me? And you don't care about the workouts anymore. I would get better, and then I'd do it again, and I'd get hurt again. I can't even tell you how many times, because I thought I was being careful, and obviously I wasn't being careful enough. So I didn't realize I was in this prison. I was literally in a prison because the way I did life was everything revolved around my workouts. That had to be the first thing that I did in the morning, whether it was running, HIIT, cycling, indoor cycling, you name it. That was always the top priority. I didn't get up and pray or read the Bible or do anything like that. That was always my thing. And I was so full of myself. When I do something, I'm the type of personality, I'm all out. I'm gonna give 110%. I have excellent work ethic, but it can be a bad thing at times when it's used in the wrong way. So yeah, pain is what got my attention, and just literally humbling me, because I had a lot of pride with all of that. And God hates pride. And I made this life so much about my workouts. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really missing out on what life is all about. It's been a gradual process. And I would say within the last year, I have finally come to terms with the fact that I don't have to live that way. I was angry and I wanted to do those things, and I kept trying to do those things, and I kept hurting myself. You know, I didn't understand at the time what God was doing, but now I realize how much time I wasted. And honestly, if I was to go back to having absolutely no problems with my back again, I probably would just end up doing the same thing all over. I would just go back to that place, because my mind is just wired that way. It's kind of like an all or nothing mentality. Right now, I'm not really doing anything. I'm watching what I'm I'm eating healthier, and I'm realizing, gosh, all I really had to do was just eat healthier and maybe do a little bit less of everything. My approach to fitness has changed. My back kind of dictates whether or not I'm going to work out on a certain day. Even with the procedure, I still kind of struggle a little bit. It wasn't 100% perfection having that. I just can't go back to doing all of those things anymore. And I finally got into a place of not only accepting that, but being happy with it. I never thought I would ever be in a place where I would be happy with doing less. Okay, so I was there for a while. And now I'm to the point where I never thought I would be okay or happy with missing workouts for a certain length of time. And we're there. I'm there. I'm okay. Do I wish that I could go out and do a run? Absolutely I do. The only thing I can really get away with doing anymore is walking. Last winter, I was doing really good with walking, and I know I could do that again. When I would get a flare with my back, it would literally just feel like it just went out, and I was in such pain I could hardly walk. So you can't do anything when you're like that. And I'd be laid up for quite a while. And it would slowly improve, but I was going to the chiro like, oh gosh, so many times. I was spending so much money on chiropractic care. And so that's what really got me to do the radio frequency ablation. And it has improved, like I said. So ladies, don't fall in. That's the devil's trap. That's Satan's trap. You are in a prison if you feel like that, and you're missing out on what life is all about. And let me tell you, once you get to the other side of that, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And I think the age has a lot to do with it, and the pressure, and you got to get away from that. Get yourself in the Word. Realize that what this life is about is nothing even close to what you look like. It's okay to want to look good, but you can take it too far. I had an experience here within the last year where I wanted to go to a different doctor, a women's care clinic or something, just to get an annual exam. And so I went to this place. It was a bougie place. And I was so shocked when I went in there talking about all of these things you can do to your body, and where your eyes can be open wider, and fillers. And I got an education sitting in that office that day. I just couldn't believe it. And I'm like, okay, they do annual exams, right? Like, okay. And chiropractors' offices and my dentist sent something out the other day where they're doing this. Oh, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I see people that are older than me that y'all are doing something here. You're older than me and you look like you're about 40. You do not want to fall into that trap, because Satan will take you all the way. You start having one thing done and pretty soon it's like, oh, now that don't look right because now I got this. That's where they hook you. Don't fall for it, people, women. I went into this gynecologist's office, and they had mirrors set up in such a way where you literally were sitting there on the table in a gown, and you look over to the left and there's a mirror there, and it said, do you need a lift? Talk to us about blah blah blah. And then he had a full-length mirror, knowing that, women are afraid of mirrors anyway, and you're getting dressed because, you just had an exam, you're putting on your clothes, you're seeing yourself in the mirror, and it said basically the same thing. Like, you need a tuck, you need a lift, talk to us about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that is shaming women. That is body shaming. We're supposed to love and support each other and make each other feel good. And we're out there trying to make money off of body shaming women. What kind of place was this? I just can't believe it. And then attached to this place was some kind of bougie aesthetic, you could have whatever done there. I'm like, I am never coming here again, ever. And not only that, but I get in like a bladder infection, because honestly, I don't think their stuff was sterile. And then I had to go to another doctor for that. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. Don't get to the point where you have to literally be in some kind of pain, emotional or physical. You know, it might take that. You know, if it takes that to get you out of that prison, then so be it, you know, and God's going to get the glory through it. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to watch how much weight we're putting on and all of those things. You can do that through eating. I was exercising so hard. I enjoyed it, but I was taking in so much sugar. And I'd be like, I don't care, because I'm going to work that off on the bike, or I'm going to work that off on my run, so I'm going to indulge in all of this stuff. And I'd work it off, so I didn't think twice about it. And then I find out sugar actually causes inflammation and pain in the body. So then after I couldn't work out anymore to that degree, I started eating better, because I found that information out. So eating less sugar is going to help you not only maintain a good weight, but if you have problems with your back, your joints, inflammation, you know, which is pretty common anyway, it's going to help you. Every little bit helps. I will tell you that a long time ago, when this stuff really bothered me, I had some veins on the back of my legs. They were spider veins, and I didn't like the way it looked, and I stopped wearing shorts, and I didn't want anybody to see that, because it was, you know, dark purple, and I was self-conscious about it. And so I went and had something done. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how long ago this has been. I was probably in my late 20s. You had to wear like compression stockings and everything. They inject this stuff into you that's supposed to make it disappear, but then they're like, well, it might show itself somewhere else. Okay, disclaimer, it might show up somewhere else. And I had to pay for that because insurance doesn't cover. I had the compression stockings, and it was hot, and it was in the summertime, and I got home and I was so disgusted with myself because I was so miserable, and I'm like, why am I putting myself through this just to look good in a pair of shorts? You know, when I was there at the appointment, the doctor told me, because they see all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, and this was just a cosmetic thing. And he said, literally, this bothers you because you don't have anything else wrong with you. You don't have anything else to focus on. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. It just hit me like I don't want to go down this road. I wasn't willing to tolerate it. I was just like, this is insane. So that was the only time I ever fell victim to that specific thing. I just wanted to share that, y'all, because when I hear other women are struggling, it really bothers me. So I hope that helped. Y'all just focus on Jesus. If you don't have a Christian perspective on this life, the enemy is just gonna try to trap you in every way possible. If you don't like the way you look, do the best you can. If you can just walk a little bit and eat well, that's all you really need to do. I can't really exercise anymore and get my heart rate up there like I like to. I used to get my heart rate up there 160s. I can't do that with walking. There's just no way. So I have to accept the fact that I'm gonna maintain a certain level of fitness, but I can't jump and do all the things that get your heart rate up there pretty high. But you know what my thinking is, whether this was right or wrong, I'm like, honestly, I don't want to live forever, okay? Take care. And man, love yourself. Seek God in everything. That's the best advice that I can give you. And He will give you a whole different perspective on this life and what it's about. And I promise you, it just won't even bother you anymore. Okay, over and out.